I want to talk today. I see and I hear and I receive comments that people are confused and fatigued with the messaging on COVID-19. I think anyone would be forgiven for not knowing how to stay safe, how extreme to be with physical distancing, and what practices to follow. I think depending on what channel you watch, what newspaper you read, or what neighborhood you live in, you may hear different opinions and receive different pieces of advice. A simple fact is that COVID-19 is still with us. Though we are seeing promising trends in hospitalizations and especially in certain parts of our community, percent positive case counts, the virus is certainly not gone and will likely increase at some point in the future, as we are seeing in most states throughout the country. So everyone will take different steps to stay safe, but I think there's three key items that you can consider when determining what activities to do and what perhaps not to do. So three items. One is people, two is space, and three is time. So people means how many people do you interact closely with? The people you live with are fine. You can interact with them as much as you want. Outside of that, try to interact closely with only a small trusted few at this time. So with each person you interact closely with, keep in mind that you're also indirectly contacting everyone else that they interact with as well. So keep your circle as small as possible, ideally not much larger than those with whom you live. Next is space. So space means how you interact with people, aside from those in your closest circle. So you can get together with family, you can get together with friends, but try to do so from a distance. And being outdoors in open air also adds a substantial added element of protection. So you can interact with your friends and your family, but do so in an open air environment outdoors and try to keep 6 feet of distance from each other. You can set up tables and chairs further apart. And also, while not a substitution for space, wearing a mask in public can further decrease transmission of disease. So third is time. Time means how long you interact with someone. So while passing someone for a split second while walking on a path in the park is very low risk, sitting next to someone for a half hour in a restaurant is quite high risk. So keeping these three key elements, again, people, space, and time, in mind at all times is critical regardless of symptoms. We know also for a fact, a well-studied fact, that COVID-19 is contagious and can be spread when you have the virus in your system but don't yet have symptoms. So that means we have to limit the number of people, maintain space, and minimize time always, regardless of symptoms. So as you return to a more normal way of life, remember people, space, and time. Be with those who you enjoy spending time with, but be creative in ways to maximize safety by decreasing the number of people, increasing the space, and minimizing the time. Lastly, I want to return for just a moment on the numbers I mentioned at the beginning. 322 individuals who have died. As I read them off each briefing, I think it's easy to start seeing them as an aggregate statistic, a percentage of the whole. However, as I stated in the beginning, there are 322 individuals who have died. These are parents, their husbands, wives, best friends, co-workers, sons, and daughters. And if you haven't yet been touched by loss during the pandemic, I think you're probably one of the lucky ones. This last week, I personally saw 2 close friends affected, one by the loss of a father and another by the loss of a brother. The pandemic is real and the effects are widespread. Despite differences of opinion or outlook you may have with those you live with or those you love, understand that this is a challenging time for everyone. We can't know the struggles that others face or the impact this pandemic has on them. So please be kind to those around you.